In this video, with a less degree of drugs in my system, my behavior is more respectable. My sources are valid. I've gone over this many times. You know, people that wrote for the Harvard Law Review, Harvard graduates, imbeciles about eugenics and how it's still, the evidence that is still going on. The CIA doctors, okay, Dr. Colin M.A. Ross. Of course, when you look at this thing, it's the history of eugenics and recent eugenic activity, and you can tell by how it was allowed to take place that we live in a eugenic state, and this is just what's on record that's come out. You read between the lines. I think we can all come to the conclusion that eugenics still goes on. A college professor wrote the book, The History of, Fighting for Honor, The History of African Martial Art Traditions in the Atlantic World, Professor Obi. Remember, Obi means hut, it means heart, and so on and so forth. It means built, to carry somebody. It's used to carry something or somebody, to carry an idea, to carry on the traditions which are lost, right? Without, even in karate, we have they have the idea shuhari, which is going your own way, which is basically, when you advance beyond the system, you go toward Haru's system. Okay, the sports gene, thoroughly researched, a book about the warrior gene that created the top sprinters really in the world. And remember, black people are sabotaged across the world, and Jamaica might be the place with the least degree of sabotage relative to sports activity on the world, where they have a special emphasis on organic food, on healthy food, right? Look at the Rastafarian culture and how it affects the country where it really is derived from, and where it's perhaps the most common and pervasive in the world. So you see, I can focus to a certain extent, and this focus can extend to the use of weapons, okay, to strike. So as they have taken from my form, you see this kind of skeleton, kind of stick figure starting to emerge, more like a cheetah, okay? I've seen, on crests, I've seen a kind of gay-looking lion on English crests. I've seen Wales, song, and trance. The history of Wales also proves my point, its connection with the Gothic culture, okay? And which princes are celebrated in society, which aren't. I've seen the crane, right? The crane in Kung Fu, the crane, some kind of crane-like animal on these crests. That's also the difference between the leopard and the crane. As a martial art animal, the leopard is superior to the crane. The crane is kind of like a stick figure doing surgical strikes, where the leopard is truly coordinated, has a certain mobility, a certain ability to move around and then strike effectively, okay? And even in this reduced state, you can kind of see some of my former prowess starting to express itself. And again, I think that it is abhorrent that people are downplaying the fact, and even on this cover of this book, it proves my point. This guy's a short, kind of thick guy, right? It downplays even on the cover of this book, right? These guys truly aren't the kind of shape of people that they're persecuting. They're persecuting the guys who aren't shaped like your common basketball player. Basketball kind of favors the white shape when it comes to shooting, and as a result, we don't see people with a true martial arts shape playing basketball. Okay, we see people with some kind of in between a white and a tall black guy shape. And this has to do with body structure and the ability to stabilize the hand and the specific motion that it is, which is different from a striking motion. It is a shooting motion, okay, versus a surgical striking motion. So someone like me might be very good at defense, but they won't be so good at shooting compared to other people because they have a martial arts body and not this kind of white kind of basketball body. So when we see martial arts in terms of demonstration, as well, the ability to stabilize these kind of Asian moves when, these are Caucasians from a Eurasian region of the world, certainly it favors whites and Asians in the martial arts. And this is also something that they seek to cover up. And I think it's rather unfortunate that our kids grow up with this degree of treachery and disingenuous behavior. I think it is sad that it ends like this. I think that even now, I have a slight headache coming on, but it's very obvious when you hear how I talk in this video. It's reminiscent of how I used to make videos before they started drugging me over a long period of time, and I started talking with a lisp, almost with a lisp, but really with gay mannerisms that aren't my own. Okay, so when you really hear me in my videos, it's rare and it's pretty difficult for me to even find a video that truly expresses who I am. the inability to express oneself and to express oneself with respect, okay, can cause a violent, response. A lot of these school shootings are a result of American culture and its eugenic kind of pecking order, putting people in a position where they feel they're not respected, whether they're gang members, whether they're mass shooters. This is why I used to hang out with gang members when I was younger. There was no black martial arts societies that made me feel respected. At the schools that I went to, I was alienated. I went to, Asian martial arts school, okay, Kung Fu school, Wing Lam. I went to an American Taekwondo school. Now, they were kind of nice at both these places in their own way, but certainly these martial art places exist to elevate their people above other people. That's what they exist for. If you were to ask them who are the best students at their school, they might change their story now. Now I say this, they would say somebody that just happens to be their race. That's not a coincidence. There's nobody at any of these schools ever that could have beat me in my prime. I go as far as to say nobody at any of these schools ever that could even beat me in the shape that I am in now. Okay, and they're not allowed to admit that. They won't publicly admit that, and it is sad. Okay, this is the culture in general. Right? If the martial artists don't have the honor to tell the truth, what does that say about the society? And this is the society with the most martial arts schools in the world. So the direction of martial arts is to be disingenuous, is to big up your race, is to have the flag of your country or your race or your nation of origin to be in your kind of school, to enforce the norms of your racial kind of race-based kind of cultures, and to ultimately to live in disgrace when you think about it, right? Because we are a human race. Martial arts is about studying animals and nature, and to help refine your, includes that and to help refine your style. So when you then look at, the people where martial arts comes from, and you do things in a way to cheat them out of their rightful place, there's no way around that. Yes, you know that their reproductive cycle in terms of martial arts is superior to yours. B, you're obviously doing things in a way to cheat them out of their place. C, you're setting the standard of dishonor to be something that's socially normative in culture. When people watch movies and see martial art heroes, they're seeing you enforce this dishonor, and on some level they're aware of it. They're aware that it's a movie. They're aware that there's got to be somebody better, and they're almost certainly aware that that the warrior gene, the sport gene they're referring to is a warrior gene, and that black people, certain groups of black people are the greatest warriors in history. They're aware of these things. So when these things are downplayed on a martial art level, where it involves, surgical striking and things that, these groups of people do better, it's very disingenuous, it's very dishonorable. It is a failure of the martial arts system. And when women fail to see through that and date accordingly, it is the failure of women. And when men fail to transcend women and say, no, we're not going to let these petty gold diggers tell us what to do, it's the failure of men. So on many levels, society has failed miserably. There is no more hope in society or in Pandora's box, so to speak. And people should realize that. Don't be surprised when the people who we all know what they do and how they think do what they do. Okay? Don't be surprised when they do it behind the scenes. Don't be surprised when the son of two doctors, one a brain surgeon, okay, tells you that this is the case. They suppress his views and no one stands with him. Don't be surprised when the black community that is hopelessly under the control of house niggas and scientists and overseers, so to speak, the modern day plantation. Don't be surprised when they've been screened out for hundreds of years and none of them stand with them. Don't be surprised when black women are complaining in a way that reflects that they would not appreciate the most respectable black person in reality. Don't be surprised when these despicable processes reflect an inferior reproductive cycle. Don't be surprised when they go to great lengths to pretend that we are achieving progress instead of breeding despicable, conformist, out-of-touch, senseless scum. It goes back to the wordplay with sense. Sun, see. Okay? Sun, so. The true Sun Temple. Right? Not the imitations, not criminals, not worldly scum. Right? If you have sense, you're going to want to date this person no matter what. Being in hell, so to speak, is not an excuse for not gravitating toward an angel that has found his way there, trying to be the ladder for you to get out. Okay, that's pretty much a good description of what's going on here. Sun see, sun say, sun so. Life's lessons lays on. Okay, not lies in. Who lies in? Who's lying? But lays on Heliopolis, Ionu, the cult center of Ra. These are life's lessons. These are people that focus on grammar and so on and so forth. They'll pretend that the word salad or the word play isn't accurate. I mean, how stupid is that? These people will listen to poetry and so on and so forth. They'll find deeper messages in poetry, but they can't understand the ideas that this wordplay is referring to, that I have masterfully explained. And you have to really ask yourself, why am at this point I'm getting 10, 11 views per video at best? You know, why aren't they listening to me? Who are they listening to, or who aren't they? What does that say about them? You know, people's arguments and videos compared to mine are like little children babbling nonsense. Who fucking cares what these cowards have to say? Why aren't millions of people listening to the top martial artist? Why aren't millions of people openly questioning why people didn't accept my challenge? Why more people who accepted didn't show up? Why all these martial artists and groups target me instead of accepting my challenge at $100,000? You have people getting shot for $20. You have people ripping each other off for $100. Why wouldn't they accept this $100,000 challenge? Why aren't people showing up when they get paid $50 just to show? Okay, just to show, whether they win or lose. Okay, they're on record sparring with the top martial artists. Other martial artists learn lessons. Right? What is the purpose of sparring? Is to prepare you for combat and to establish the order. Spirit. Why aren't they trying to learn where they're, trying to refine their skills? Certainly, humanity has failed. Certainly, it is over. Okay? And certainly, the true purpose of martial arts is to train people to have the mentality to die for the highest principles of morality. Not for nations, not for the respect of your master like in a samurai culture, not to make your people look good, but for the actual highest principles of morality. So when the top martial artist says, it is my call and I'm making it, submit your daughters to this system. There shouldn't be any hesitation. It is failure when there's hesitation. Okay? No hesitation. This is the order from the moral structure of the heavens coming down through this person. If you even hesitate, you have failed horribly in life. If nobody shows up and this person dies alone without leaving a seed, man is cut off from the heavens. It is foolish not to see it that way. How could this possibly be? Let's look at the degrees of separation, right? We see people all over the world. They're not rising up in this true spirit, right? They should be fighting for the death instead of accepting globalism and all the tyranny and all the injustice that comes with it, all the fakeness, all the controlled opposition bullshit, the white savior complex, the Jewish savior complex, right? And any other rich people that attempt to fill the void or to be that when you stop trusting those races. It's what it is. They'll send you your own, If you can't see in their micro expressions, why not? If people in these underdeveloped nations don't see that these people are evil scum, twisting their arm and trying to control their reproduction, why aren't they doing it? Why aren't they fighting to the death? Why haven't for generations have they fought for the death? There's only one family on this entire planet that has an excuse to not fight to the death because they are gods. They are the pharaonic bloodline, and that is mine. Ari, the Heart of Africa, I've overkilled that point. I'll put the links in the description for good measure. But at the end of the day, if you can't see that in me just watching my videos, if these women, when I pass down the street, cannot see that I am the most desirable man on the planet and start to show me more favor and love than any other man, why can't they? They have failed. The whole purpose of a woman's life in this world is to find the most suitable helper she can, make it clear to him that she's receptive to him, and to have his seed, to be with him. If she can't do that, she has failed. How could any of you miss that? How could any women in the public miss that I am this person? How can they miss that? How can they think that they need to serve their family or the state? Is a family a static thing? Do you live with them forever? Are you under the control, in a world brought to you by the heavens, brought to you by the Creator? You are here to attach yourself to me. If you don't do that, you fail in life. You become a walking sack of shit. You become somebody worshiping that ball of dung that the scarab beetle in Egyptian culture is rolling around the ground. That ball of dung represents the world. It is a pile of shit. Your job is to leave. If you cannot do that, you are worshiping shit. You are shit worshipers, and that leads you to the LGBT community. Do I have to explain to you how having sodomy is a form of worshiping shit? Okay, worship, we're the ship of, okay? So in a world of shit, you subject yourself to the LGBT community, and it is void of the Spirit of the Lord, of the Creator. Thank you.